Hello there everyone, once again at YouTube. I am here today and I am here to bring you a new review. I am back and hopefully I'll be getting a lot of videos done over the next few weeks because I'm actually finally done with finals in school. It's great, I love it. And with that guys, I am going to get right into my review of the new movie, Star Wars Rogue One. The story is a story about, in the original Star Wars movie, which is just Star Wars, or A New Hope if you'd like to call it by that as well. In the opening title scroll, you see one line of text that says, their rebel spies stole plans for an ultimate weapon created by the Emperor, something along those lines. And that is basically where the basis of this movie comes from. It is about how these plans were received by Princess Leia and how they got the plans so that they could actually destroy the Death Star in the original Star Wars movie. That is the story of this group of rebel spies. And that's the basis of this movie. And I was actually, at the beginning of the year, I was getting off how much I love The Force Awakens, and I immediately thought to myself, okay, so I wonder if the Rogue One's going to be pretty good. The trailers set it up to look very, very promising, and this looked like it was going to be amazing. And I love Star Wars, and I was like, oh, directed by Gareth Edwards, who did the Godzilla movie. This is going to be amazing. Before I get into what I really need to say about this movie, I am going to talk about a few things that I like. Felicity Jones was okay. She wasn't the perfect protagonist. I didn't really think she pulled it off all that well, but she was still fine. Mads Mikkelsen did a wonderful job, as always, and he's literally barely in this movie, and he still does a freaking amazing job. I think he's one of my favorite actors currently working in Hollywood. He's amazing. Let's see, who else? We got Donnie Young? I can't remember his name for the life of me. He's the guy who played IP Man in IP Man movies, and he was very good. He gave a great performance. He was very likable and very funny, and so was K2, the droid, voiced by Alan. Oh, crap! I cannot think of his name for the life of me. Yeah, the droid was very, very funny. I thought he was one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. Both of these characters added some nice, funny moments to the movie. Other than that, I thought James Earl Jones portraying Darth Vader in this movie was pretty good for the few scenes that he was in. I thought most of the battle sequences in this movie were very well done. The CG is remarkable. I loved it so much. The actual scale that some of these things stand on, like the AT-ATs, the AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them, they actually feel like they are big, and that's no surprise coming from Gareth Edwards, who also did the Godzilla movie, and it made Godzilla look huge. And I thought those aspects of the movie were good. All of those things worked so well together, but I am going to say right now, this is not a perfect Star Wars movie. This movie has quite a few flaws that very much so, I think, diminished my enjoyment of the movie overall, and the flaws itself, I honestly was very not impressed by. So, first of all, the characters in this movie. These actors, like Riz Ahmed playing this Imperial pilot defector, was really good. The guy that Donnie, I can't remember his name for the life of me. I'm sorry about that. The guy that's with him, like his partner, is pretty good. They're pretty well done, like, casting choices. However, the problem I had with their characters was they weren't really characters. They were people that were there to do a thing, to make someone laugh or something like that. And so you don't exactly get invested in the characters, and I really was disappointed by that because I know that Gareth Edwards is a good director. I don't know if he's the best character director, and of course, I also know that this movie underwent reshoots however many months so before the movie actually came out, and I'm sure that had something to do with the overall quality of the writing in this movie. because the characters are not really well defined. The only one that gets much of any backstory is Jyn Ursa, who is the main character played by Felicity Jones. She's the only character that gets any sort of actual backstory or a reason to care about her character. Every other person is just kind of there, and they're there to either make you laugh or to be important for some reason. And Forrest Whitaker's also in this movie, and he is kind of well defined, I would say, just a little bit, and same with Mads Mikkelsen. But other than that, the only person that I found I could care about as a character in this movie was Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones. She was the only one, which was very, very surprising. And other than that, and then you had another great actor, Ben Mendelsohn, who I think is an amazing actor. I think he's very good at what he does. But the problem with his character was he just was not a convincing bad guy. He was not good. Like, I thought most people rag on Kylo Ren, and they don't really care for Kylo Ren as a villain, but it's like, this guy's any better? No, he's not. I mean, I wouldn't say so. I see so many people posting, oh yeah, Darth Maul's better than Kylo Ren. It's like, no, he's not. He has no personality. What the heck makes you think that in any way, shape, or form? However, yeah, like, that's the main problem with this movie. What's up with that? Why are the characters so undefined that you just end up not even caring, and that ruins most of the movie, because by the end some things happen and in which you're supposed to care about these characters, but you really don't care about them enough to where you're like, okay, was I supposed to really care that just happened? I don't think so, but I don't know. You know what I mean? One thing that also surprised me quite a bit was the lack of Darth Vader in this movie. We actually have an opportunity in the modern age to hear James Earl Jones voicing Darth Vader in an actual, like, role he can be in for more than 2 seconds and not have one of the worst lines of dialogue ever. But I feel as though Vader was written very, like, the lines that he spoke weren't as good as in the original trilogy. Like, he actually makes a pun when he's force choking Ben Mendelsohn's character, and I'm just like, what? That's not Vader. Vader doesn't make puns. That's dumb. I don't like it. He's, like, very witty at times and sarcastic, but he doesn't make puns. That's dumb. However, the scenes in which he is in are really good, especially this scene at the end, which was just amazing. This final scene with Vader in it was like, oh, that was amazing. I loved it so much. And again, the action set pieces are good, but there's not much substance to them, and I harken back to many problems I have with different shows or sometimes, because sometimes they don't develop their characters enough to where you care about them. So when a big conflict happens, you don't really care about the characters, and you're just watching a pointless fight at that point. It's very much so an annoyance for me. And then there was definitely times in the movie in which it just it dragged along. The first act had so many parts, I was like, oh my gosh, are we actually watching this? Why is this happening right now? Who cares? And same with the second act. The third act is where it actually started to pick up a little bit and got really intense and everything. And in my opinion, the overall storytelling of this movie was just done so poorly. And a great many things I was very much disappointed with in Rogue One, and I left the movie feeling so underwhelmed and like, wow, it was a Star Wars movie, and I wasn't fulfilled at the end. That's something that even the prequels, when I was younger watching them, now not so much, but even the prequels, like, endings had something fulfilling about them. Rogue One just doesn't have that, in my opinion. It doesn't have that moment of, oh man, that was great. Which I don't know if that was the point or not, because this is, maybe it's a little bit of a darker Star Wars movie, but not that much darker. Like, you can totally tell Disney, like, put their hand way into this, because I'm sure this was supposed to be way darker than it ended up being. which really disappoints me as well in that regard. And Rogue One, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's not my favorite movie of the year. I don't even think it'll be on my list. It just was not as good as I wished it would be. Is the first in this anthology that they're doing with Star Wars, and hopefully the next anthology film is better. I'm excited for Episode 8, of course. I can't wait to see Mark Hamill play Luke Skywalker again. It's going to be great. And yes, even though Luke Skywalker, it was very disappointing when we realized Luke Skywalker was not going to be in that entire movie, and he was only in there for like 2 seconds and didn't talk at all. It was very disappointing in that regard. But then The Force Awakens, it had characters you cared about still, so it didn't really matter that much. While Rogue One does not have that. It does not have these characters that you care about, and the homage, and it shoehorns some things in that were just ridiculous. There's one CG, like, retro, like, CG computer design character that they put in the movie, and I understand why they did it. But, oh my gosh, it looked so, not good. It didn't look good at all. I thought it looked very, very terrible, actually. But I guess they did the best with what they could with that character. But in the end, guys, Rogue One, in my opinion, was kind of a disappointment. I enjoyed most of the action in it. I enjoyed the different, environments. I enjoyed the different Star Wars stuff that they've added to it. I think that some of the characters they've added to the lore of Star Wars will be interesting to learn more about. But overall, Rogue One has very bland characters. Some of the writing just does not work at all. The ending was so underwhelming, except for this scene with Darth Vader in it. And honestly, guys, Rogue One, I'm sorry, but Rogue One was not really the best movie I've seen this year. It is definitely not one of the best Star Wars movies I've seen. I'm going to say that Rogue One is worth watching in theaters. If you want to see Rogue One, do not let me stop you from doing that. I am totally not saying that you shouldn't see Rogue One. Go see it. It's a good movie. It's just not a good Star Wars movie, because a Star Wars movie, we've come to accept this thing about Star Wars, is that fans are going to challenge everything in it. It doesn't matter if it's The Force Awakens, it doesn't matter if it's the original trilogy, it doesn't matter if it's the prequels. Fans are going to judge every single aspect of whatever Star Wars movie that gets made. And that's just the unfortunate truth to it. And because it is a Star Wars movie, that is why I gave it such a lower rating, because I expected more from it than what I got. I did not think this was a great movie. I think it might be a good movie if it wasn't a Star Wars movie, but unfortunately that is what the case is. And guys, I'm sorry to say that I just did not enjoy Rogue One that much. However, I will say that it's still better than all the prequels. So there you go. That's about as much as you're going to get in terms of, hey, Rogue One's actually pretty not bad. And with that, guys, I want to thank you again so much for watching my videos. I kind of got long-winded into my negatives about this movie, but I did enjoy it for what it was for the most part still. I just was very, very disappointed by it. Guys, thank you again so much for watching this video. If you liked it, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And with that, guys, I am going to be, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be doing some more reviews very soon, and I hope I can get those out as soon to you guys as possible. And other than that, I don't have much else to say. Tell me what you thought of Rogue One in the comments below, and as always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.